Fruitful Investment Strategies. My name is Kalambai, and if this is your first time, please make sure that you subscribe, you share with many people as you can, so that we can have a fruitful investment strategies with many and share ideas that will help many people as possible in terms of investments, in terms of businesses, in terms of prosperity as well, because money, as we know, brings freedom with it. So if you would really have some financial freedom, we are here to help you, to give you advices in terms of how you can actually go forward with this. So if you like our video, please make sure that you actually like, give us a thumb up, you share, and see you on the next one. Share and comment. So today I want to talk about wokeism, which is a term which comes from 1940s, and this is a term which was used by the African American to actually bring awareness to actually the social injustices which has been happening in the country in terms of black people, racism and all that. So being aware of those issues, they were calling people woke when they came to this awareness of these social injustices. But this term has been used actually recently in other different ways. It is being used by LGBT or whatever you call them. It has been used by other in other social communities. When it's talking about change of sexes and all that. Which is actually something which is destroying a lot of young people today. So I want to actually bring awareness in terms of this because young people tend to actually waste money on these things, which does not help, and then it brings actually diseases. It brings it's actually destroys your mind, in terms of investing in those things. So we can see that there is this movement of actual wokeism in the USA, in Canada, in the UK, and in many other countries, where actually young people from 15 years old, from 12 years old, 15 years old can change their sexes when they want, just with a recommendation from the doctor. The doctor can recommend them and say, hey, this guy has been actually, he's in the wrong body, and the person can be, a male person can change from a male person to a woman person, a female person. And that actually really brings a lot of problems in the society. You have seen actually there have been a lot of problems in terms of male competing in the sport of female because they had declared themselves to be female. And not recently we saw a boxer from Morocco who had declared herself to be a female, but this was a male, and she was hitting or he was hitting the female boxer hardly, and that was really felt. So we have a confusion in society with these identical people are no longer able to identify themselves. Male are going in the toilet of females, and females are going in the toilet of male. So you don't know who is male, who is female. There is a little bit, not a little bit, but really confusion in the society in terms of these terms. So so what do we do? Because once you actually going to refer to these social aspects of life, people tend to actually cancel you, and that has brought a lot of cancel culture, because you are talking about issues which can help people, you're talking about things which can help people, but at the same time you are being cancelled because you are not in the same boat as those people. You're not thinking on the same line as those people. You are trying actually to think. There is no actually there is no freedom of thinking. There is no independence of thinking. Everything that you do or think which is against their way of thought, you are being cancelled out and being set aside. And many Africans have been suffering with this kind of thing, when actually homosexual has been introduced in many of these African countries. It's really ramping out, and some of the male, they think they're born in a very wrong body, and that's bring also problems in terms of cultural identity, because these things, they do not actually know them, and they have not grown with them, and this has been really a cultural identity case in many of these societies. So you have young people actually growing up and not knowing and being told something different and identifying themselves different from what they are, which is a big social issue in many of our societies, because we as Africans, we do not know those kind of things. And many of the now there is a lot of immigrants knowing actually the background, knowing that they can be actually recruited in the West or taken in the West as asylum seekers. They came as in the wokeism agenda. So they came and they claim that they're a persecuted group of LGBTQ, or whatever you call them. They call themselves that, and then they're accepted in the Canadian community, or in Europe, or in America, because of that. So that has become a sense of legal immigration for many people in Canada, many people in US, many people in Europe, because why? They have accepted that, they have claimed to be of that group of wokeism. So this idea of canceling people out, of really bringing taking people out because actually they do not agree with this, I think it's really something which is really bad. It's destroying our communities, and there is no room for personal thinking. There is no room for development in terms of thinking as well, and it's becoming a very hurtful. It's creating a division between our society. We have seen that Elon Musk, had actually the same problem with his firstborn, whereby his actual child was actually had changed sex and all that, because he was claiming to be of that category, of that group. And Elon Musk has spoken about that in an interview, and he's claiming that really destroyed his firstborn. And this is actually something we should think about as a community. Is there a way that a man can really change? Is it even ideal? Is it even possible to do that? And what consequences does it come with? Because I've seen that many actually are tormented by psychologically sickness. It really brings sickness with it when you start actually dealing with these things. And these are not really something which is biological proven to be true, because it's not true. Once you're a man, you're a man. Once you're a woman, you're a woman. You cannot change from a man to a woman. That is biologically false. You cannot do that. Well, I don't know, some others can mean what they want, but I'll give you the freedom to do that. But actually the proof is that once you're born a man, you are born a man. Once you're born a woman, you are born a woman. There is no way you can actually change the sex. Now, people want to do that. And the government is willing to support those kind of things, when the governments in the West cannot actually support things which are really important for the society. Supporting actually, let's say, real estate business, or people who do not have actually housing, and you have all these problems that are there that the government can actually support them being busy with issues that are of not importance to the society as in a whole. So these are kind of issues that even the West have been actually imposing on the third world countries, so that they can take these kind of things into their society. Where does it come from? I think this is very popular in Thailand, in India, where you see these kind of societies, being introduced in the West, and the West, it has taken toll over the West, and not only the West, but it's being spread out. These are kind of things that are actually breaking societies down, and they're breaking communities down. And that's what we have seen actually Putin is fighting against, and the East is fighting against these things, because this is actually not something which people should accept in communities. But I'm not here to tell you what to do, or when to do, or where to do, or who you want to be. But I'm telling you that these kind of things do not help us in terms of development, in terms of liberty, in terms of democracy, actually to evolve. Because if we're going to do those kind of things, our community, our society is going to be leveled down. You see, you have children who actually are not able to think for themselves, and all what they think is all about their body and how this is fruitful investment strategies.